welcome to another great video. Continue to talk RRSP Meltdown, ways to make it more efficient, to get more tax savings. This is all coming from a question we got from Curtis. He does that RRSP Meltdown. He's withdrawing from his RRIF. He had been putting to the TFSA,
but it's maxed out.
So he's now going to put it into that non-registered account. Of course, there's tax on that average non-registered account. The tax of the income on that means he can only withdraw less from the RRIF. So you got this conundrum. What do you do? One of the solutions we're talking about here, Kevin, corporate class investments.
Yeah, corporate class investments. So these were created quite a while ago, and basically it was a way to try and avoid paying tax initially and sort of moving it down the road, which is what you really want to do if you're drawing out of your RRIF. So, I mean, the corporate class, it comes in an exchange-traded fund, it comes in a mutual fund structure, and it's structured around minimizing annual taxable distributions. So beforehand,
that's the idea.
Where you used to be getting all these distributions, now they're doing it so that, you know, the distributions are delayed or they're put into some format where we have to not pay the taxes now. Little or no, as I say, little or no annual distribution. Bulk of investment is reflected as a capital gain, and it is incurred only when those units are sold. So this is definitely going to help you out with your tax situation if you're buying into these things going forward.
Yeah, and we've got a nice graphic here. You can see how this could fit into that non-registered account. So you got your basic RRIF strategy, TFSA strategy, then perhaps in the non-registered account, use some corporate class investments.
That's exactly
corporate class mutual fund, corporate class ETF, whatever fits your specific strategy. But the idea there is that now has less tax year to year. You're pushing the tax bill down the road. So you get some timing, you get some control. You know what, I'm going to incur that capital gain in maybe 10 years after I've already dealt with my RRSP and RRIF. And because of lower year-to-year distributions, lower year-to-year income to claim, I can take more and more out of the RRIF and speed up that RRSP meltdown. That's the whole concept right there.
And that's what we wanted from the beginning, where we wanted that meltdown sort of scenario so it goes. But again, it doesn't come without some sort of a scenario where you have to look at compensation. So one of them is your risk factor.
That's a big one.
You don't want to just invest because of the tax strategy. And not all strategies for ETFs and mutual funds allow a corporate class. That's one big factor that you have to do. The rules have changed over time. You used to have a variety of these things. You used to be able to switch from one fund to the other. The government's eliminated a lot of that. So again, this is a, for the time being, strategy we can use, but years down the road, maybe this won't be there anymore at either.
Yeah, and it's important to note, like, this corporate class structure exists because of certain government rules. It used to be in the past they had a lot more, specifically mutual funds. The mutual fund families would do this. Then the government changed the rules, and now you see a lot more ETF structured that way because of the rule change. And reiterating your point, not all strategies are available in a corporate class structure. So maybe you have a really good strategy like with bonds and dividends. Well, that might not be a fit for a corporate class. So perhaps the strategy you end up picking could be higher risk. You have to keep all of that in mind. So taxes should not be top of mind. Like we always say, you want to have a goal, you want to have a plan, you got to monitor your risk, make sure your investments achieve all that, and then you can work on minimizing tax. And then point here, talking considerations, we mentioned risk, we mentioned the rule changes, we also have to mention fees. So you're getting lots of perks. These are products. They are created by companies, by fund companies, by ETF companies. They don't do that for free. They're going to charge your fee, and often the fee for the strategy within the corporate class structure could be a little higher than if you did that strategy outside the corporate class structure, because they're giving you all the tax perks. They're going to do this extra work to create the structure. They're going to charge a fee for that, so you have to keep that higher fee in mind. And then another consideration, the fourth one we're mentioning here, is always with any of these strategies in the non-registered account, it's the withdrawals.
And making sure that, you know, when your withdrawals from the non-registered account, you are triggering taxes. The market strategy can then be a lot less. And as Clint mentioned before, with the fees similar to a seg fund, you've already wrapped something else in it. That's why it's higher. But the withdrawals, when you're taking them, is going to be the important factor. Because if you have to sell, you're automatically triggering some form of a tax that you have to deal with, whether that's a capital gain. I mean, the return of capital all of a sudden will lower things along those lines. So it is definitely something that you have to consider when you're taking money out of it if you're going to sell these investments. And again, this is an important part to make sure that you know before you start drawing money out of it.
That's why you always have to link it with the overall plan. Right? If the plan is, hey, I'm going to spend this account down, this non-registered account in the next 10 years, well, don't do any of these strategies, because now you're going to do these withdrawals. As you do the withdrawals, you'll be triggering extra tax.
That's right.
Kind of defeats the purpose if you keep selling the investments. These strategies make the most sense if you're able to leave that account alone, and then you just kind of let it be. That way you're not incurring the tax when it's in the corporate class structure, and you can focus on drawing down the RRIF. That's the whole idea. If that's not part of your plan, no problem. There's lots of great ways you can minimize the tax with your strategy, but this is very specific for the scenario we described.
Yeah, and this is one of many different things that we have to deal with in the RRSP Meltdown. If you want to find out more about this strategy or any of the other ones we've mentioned beforehand, please go to our website and go to chatwithclintonkevin.com. Send the question in to us. We're more than happy to elaborate on any of these RSP Meltdown things or any other financial transactions that you want to deal with or financial questions you have. By all means, it'll come to Clinton, myself. It's not robo-activated, so things along those lines. And we will get back to you in a timely manner so that your question isn't important to us and we can answer it from there.
Yeah, that's how we kind of got the kernel for this particular video.
That's
the
right.
Question we got from Curtis. So please do reach out to us. Send us your questions. Send us your thoughts. We'd love to hear them. You like this video? We got lots of others like the one on the screen right now. Click on that one. We'll see you again very soon.
Take care.